Hello FPL managers and welcome back for another video. My name's Jack. Today we're going over the knee-jerk reaction for Game Week 34. It is a big double Game Week 34, so there's definitely some key transfers that you guys should be looking to make. If you guys are enjoying the FPL videos, drop a like and subscribe. We are trying to hit 12,000 subscribers by the end of the season, so please help us reach that goal. As always, have those notification bells turned on so you don't miss any future FPL videos in the build up to double Game Week 24 plus future double game weeks for the rest of the season. And with that being said, let's jump into the video. So first off, let's take a look at the most transferred in and transferred out plays this game week, and I'll sort of go over each transfer, give you guys a recommendation as to whether or not I agree with this transfer, or potentially discuss a better option to bring in or better options to bring out, rather than the plays that have been proposed here. First of all, let's have a look at the top transfers in. Marcus Rashford here. It's unsurprising to see him be one of the most popular transfers this week. He was in the top 3 for being the most transferred in players ahead of Game Week 33, and he has repeated it once again for double game week 34. Obviously Manchester United do have a really good double game week coming up, game week 34, plus they also have another double game week still to be made up. So I think Manchester United assets definitely going to be ones that people should look to go for. Of course, Marcus Rashford is probably going to be the best pick, so if you don't already have Rashford in the team, it's definitely a good player to get into the squads. His price is only going to rise in coming days, so I definitely think jumping on him now is going to be the right call. Obviously it's only one day into game week 33, only 3 matches have been played, but honestly I think Marcus Rashford in now, if you don't already have him, is a smart decision, as his price will definitely rise very shortly. Also in a similar boat is Jota and Grealish. Both of these players heavily transferred in across the last 2 game weeks as managers try and set up their team for a big double game week 34, plus try and target Manchester United, Liverpool and Man City's double game weeks for the rest of the season, which means getting in their assets early, capitalise on those price changes, as they definitely will be increasing in value. Diogo Jota was a transfer that I discussed quite a bit on yesterday's deadline stream. If you happen to tune into that one, I was kind of discussing the pros and cons of going for Jota, as a lot of people were dropping down Kane, who as you can see here is the most transferred out player for Diogo Jota, but I'm not too sold on Jota right now. Yes, he's a good option for double game week 34, but with that being said, I don't think he's going to play both games. There's only a 3-day turnaround between their 2 fixtures in double game week 34, and with Luis Diaz coming back to full fitness now, came off the bench in Liverpool's most recent game, Darwin Núñez also there, I think there's a very good chance that Jota does get rested in either the first or second fixture of their double game week. It'll probably be the second one, I'd assume. So I think he probably plays most of the 90 minutes in the first fixture of the double, then maybe comes off the bench for around 20 to 30 minutes in the second one. Then of course he does have 4 pretty solid single game weeks from 35 to 38, but once again a rotation will be a bit of a risk with Diogo Jota compared to someone like Harry Kane, who is going to be getting minutes most game weeks. Of course Erling Haaland as well, most people already have him, but you need to have that nailed on forward. Going to be playing a lot of the rest of the games of the season, and I'm not too sure Jota can provide that right now. I think he's a bit inconsistent, or will be a bit inconsistent in his minutes for the rest of the year, just considering that Liverpool do have more options coming back. He could be a good option just for double game week 34, then maybe look to get him on after that. But Jota, I'm not sure he's going to play both fixtures in double game week 34, so I would be a little bit wary about that transfer. If you want to go for him, by all means do, as he could be a huge differential that could increase your rank quite a lot for the rest of the season, but just be wary of some rotation there. Of course, Jack Grealish also going to be a very popular pick. I like Jack Grealish. I think he's got a good chance of playing most weeks. Obviously, Phil Foden is back from Man City, so that could be a bit of a doubt when choosing either Mahrez or Grealish in your FPL teams. There's a slightly higher chance of rotation. I think Grealish, though, across the season has been more consistent in getting minutes compared to Mahrez, so I would opt to go for Jack Grealish if I was going to go for a mid-price Man City midfielder. I think he, of course, is a good option. Man City with a couple of double game weeks for the rest of the year. I think going after their assets could be worthwhile. So Grealish, I like that transfer. Harry Kane out of the squad. I can see why people are doing it. If they wanted to bring in Diogo Jota, or if they wanted to get in Erling Haaland, I think the only way I'd look to get Kane out of the side is if you swap him for Haaland. If that's not the transfer you're looking to make, I'd honestly be keen to hold on to Harry Kane for the rest of the year, as even with single game weeks, I do think he's going to outscore Diogo Jota. Obviously, Jota is a lot lot cheaper than Kane, so you can upgrade another player in your team. But for me, Kane is still a very necessary option to have in your FPL sides, as his ownership is still very, very high amongst the best FPL managers that are playing the game right now. It's around 75 to 80% amongst the top 1 million managers. So I think Kane, honestly, in my opinion, is a good hold. I've chosen to hold him in my team. I could have easily gone Kane to Haaland last week. I decided to upgrade Tony to Haaland. I'm a massive fan of holding on to Harry Kane right now. So for me, he's a hold option. Ollie Watkins, I like the transfer out, to be honest. He's been in really good form recently, but I think now is the right time to move him on. Aston Villa's fixtures to take a slight dip now. They had Fulham at home, GW34 33, which is a good chance for him to score points. Was unable to do so, just blanked there with the 2 points. But after that, Aston Villa's fixtures aren't looking the most ideal for the rest of the season. And with a couple of other good forward options coming through, obviously Jota we touched on could be a good differential. Obviously comes with rotation risk, but he has a really good points potential. Haaland's always going to be a good pick. Kane's going to be a popular option. Isak also going to be a really popular option with Newcastle's double game week and Isak's form. So I think Watkins a good transfer out, as is Bukayo Saka. Arsenal's fixtures aren't the most favourable, and if I was going to go for an Arsenal midfielder, it'd probably be Gabriel Martinelli over Saka. So even though you could look to get rid of those Arsenal players, maybe if you have Martinelli, he could be a hold option. He'd probably be the only Arsenal attacking asset that I look to hold, as Saka, Odegaard and Jesus would all be players that I'd be looking to get rid of ahead of Game Week 34 to try and target those double Game Week options. So with these most popular transfers in mind, let's have a look at our Game Week 34 transfer watch list. So these are 8 players here that I would recommend you guys to keep an eye on coming into double game week 34. Obviously, Diogo Jota, a player that I've discussed a fair bit throughout this video, but he's on the watch list. Of course, despite the rotation risk, he has a really good points potential. 5.6 predicted in game week 34. Not a great predicted points for the rest of the season though, with 16.6. But I think if you're looking to target a good double game week 34 option, Diogo Jota could be your guy. Spurs and Fulham both at home is a really good chance for him to score FPL points, as is his Liverpool teammate in Mo Salah, coming in at 13 mil now. He's an expensive player to get in the side, but if you don't already have him, I'd still look to spend the money. Spurs and Fulham are really good double game week, has an excellent predicted points for this week of nearly 13, and he's got a great predicted across the next 5 as well with 36.5, which is only bettered by 2 other players in Haaland and De Bruyne. So I think Mo Salah a really good premium to go after. If you wanted to, you could go for Salah in the short term, then maybe around game week 35, 36, look to bring in Kevin De Bruyne to rock with Man City's double for the rest of the season. That could be a potential play that you go for, but for me, Salah's an excellent option for double game week 34. Could rival Erling Haaland for a captaincy selection as well. If you've got triple captain, maybe you want to take a risk, go for Mo Salah. I think he could produce a massive haul this double gaming, so I really like Mo Salah. Rashford, of course, everyone's looking to get him in their teams. He's going to be a really good option at around 7 mil, just a little bit more. Aston Villa, Brighton as their double gaming this week. He's got a pretty solid predicted points over 8 and a solid predicted across the next 5 around 31, which is not too far off Mo Salah as well. And considering that Mo Salah is nearly 4 mil or 4 or 5 mil more actually now, I think Rashford is going to be worth the money and definitely an essential player to have for the rest of the season given Manchester United's fixtures. Solly March, of course, remains on the watch list. Brighton assets are going to be absolutely necessary to have. I think triple Brighton is a must. March, I think, is one of the best Brighton midfielders, if not could be the best Brighton FPL asset in terms of point scoring for the rest of the season. I wouldn't be surprised if he outscores the likes of Matoma for FPL points in that Brighton team. He's got Wolves and Manchester United this week, which is a pretty solid double game week. And he does actually have the 4th highest predicted points out of any player for the rest of the season, Solly March, only behind Haaland, De Bruyne and Salah. And considering that he's only a fraction of their price, March is going to be an excellent value option. So I really, really like Solly March as a pick there. Luke Shaw as well at a similar price. Aston Villa, Brighton is his double. A really good chance to jump on that Manchester United defence. Now 3 clean sheets in a row in the Premier League for Manchester United. And Luke Shaw, of course, as he's shown across the season and in previous years, he can chip in with goals and assists. So I think Luke Shaw, I wouldn't be surprised as well if he's the highest scoring defender for the rest of the season. Manchester United have the double game weeks coming up. They have the defensive form, and Luke Shaw has the attacking potential to outscore the likes of Alexander-Arnold, who's also a popular defender pick that's on this watch list, despite being over £2 million cheaper. Grealish, of course, as we touched on, a popular transfer in this week. Fulham West Ham's an excellent double game week. Wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the highest scoring midfielders this week, considering that he's only 7.2, could be a really good value option. And I think going after midfielders is going to be the way forward for the rest of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if I see managers running a 5 midfield formation. Of course, Salah's there, Rashford's there, Grealish is there, Matoma, March. There's so many good picks in midfield right now. So I think Grealish could slot into a lot of players' midfields. 9.1 predicted points, game week 34 is a really good figure. Isak, of course, I really like him. He's a great option at around 6.8, just a little bit cheaper than 7 mil right now. Isak's been in superb form for Newcastle, coming off a double-digit hold last week. Has Southampton at home in game week 34, which is a really good single game week fixture. Then doubles in game week 36, plus has some pretty good single game week fixtures around that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Isak is one of the best value forwards for the rest of the season at around that 7 mil price tag. If you're looking to get rid of Watkins, looking to get rid of Tony, and you've already got Haaland, you maybe don't want to go for Harry Kane, you've already got Harry Kane as well, Isak is going to be a great replacement. And Trent, of course, as we touched on a bit earlier, I think him and Luke Shaw will be two of the highest scoring defenders for the rest of the season. A great double coming up for Liverpool, some pretty solid single game weeks after game week 34 as well. Trent's got an excellent predicted points this week of nearly 10, a good predicted points for the rest of the year of nearly 30. So Trent could definitely be worth the money at 7.5. Saying that though, Luke Shaw, a cheaper alternative, I think he'll score really well as well. But Trent definitely could meet the price tag at 7.5 for the rest of the year, given his good fixtures, and he's been finding assists in recent weeks since he's been playing in that inverted fullback role. Thanks for watching today's knee-jerk reaction video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, drop a like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel, and we're trying to hit 12,000 subscribers by the end of the season, so please help us reach that goal. As always, have those notification bells turned on so you don't miss any future videos. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.